Well, hello, and how are you doing? Sorry I was a little slow off the draw tonight. I've got a number of things going on here in the background and some technical glitches for some strange and bizarre reason. I don't know what's quite causing them, but that's okay. It's not that big of a deal. I'll get over it. So, how have you been? I'm I've been better. I'd be lying if I said otherwise. It's the honest to goodness truth. The last few weeks have been tough. I've not been able to really get out of this funk, which is, a major depressive episode. And it's taken its toll on me, emotionally and physically, as it does, because, sorry about that, just adjusting the microphone here. I had everything good to go, and then things went sideways. My apologies. I'll have to edit that out for the audio version. And for those of you who may be unaware, I now do have an audio-only version, and I'm slowly updating it, and I say slowly because it takes time to do so. But I will start linking it in the description, so you'll see you can get it on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and Spotify if you want an audio-only version. Of course, there's the YouTube version, which we'll continue to have. I like to go live, and the thing I love about the live is the chat, which to me is the entire point of it all, is having a chat available so that people can really take part and talk to me about what they're going through and tell me how they're probably feeling what I felt or in the same state at the same time. There's comfort in that group therapy, if you will. I started a little late tonight because my beautiful, lovely dog insisted on standing on my lap, and I thought, well, I'll just start with her. Just as I was about to start, she jumped down, and I'm like, oh, so that kind of threw me off. I wanted her to appear on camera, for those of you who have not had the pleasure of meeting her yet. And you can understand why she has a tremendous amount of, well, she's an empath. I've never met a dog like her in my life. She comes to me when she knows I need her, when she knows that I'm suffering, and she does this to everybody she meets. When somebody is suffering, she knows, and she just immediately goes to them to comfort them. And I've seen videos of dogs like that, and I've heard tell of dogs like that, but I've never been in the presence of one, let alone been the caretaker for one. And yes, I do stress the word caretaker. I'm not her owner. I'm her daddy, right? But I'm her caretaker. How do you own a sentient human being? A sentient being. She's not human. My apologies, but I don't think anyone can own a sentient being, a living, breathing, thinking, compassionate being. She's my gal, my girl, my best friend, but I don't own her. I'm just her caretaker. Lola, do you want to come and say hello? Nope, she just wants to lie right there, just outside the studio. I left the door open so she could come in if she so chose to do so. So this evening I'm having a beer. Because, well, I decided I wanted to have a beer. Just one. I only bought one. And had some dinner earlier. And Mademoiselle Fox will be surprised to learn that it was all vegetarian. It was just rice and beans. And the reason I chose to do that was I just didn't feel like cooking anything more than that. My Pampered Chef rice cooker, I just throw some rice and water and some salt and oil and let it go for 20 minutes. Heat up some beans and away we go. Simple, easy to clean. And I just didn't feel like cooking a full meal this evening. Tomorrow will be different because I'm actually dining at Mademoiselle Fox's abode. And her mom's in town for a few days, so I'm going to hang out with them, which will be fun. I'm looking forward to that. It'll be nice to have, spend some time with her again because we've been apart for a few days because she went down to Kingston for her daughter's birthday. So I found myself on Saturday kind of like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do because for the last 2 years, Saturday's been our date night. So the only time we've not had date night is when I've been out of town. So I think now I know how she must have felt when she was here and I was out of town. You know, when you're out of town visiting friends, you're not thinking about those things. So I don't imagine she was thinking about it on Saturday because she was having fun with her mom and her daughter. So anyway, I wasn't terribly broken up by it. I was just kind of like, oh, what am I supposed to do? That's all it was. It was just a change. Now, that being said, I have been, like I said, over the last few weeks, struggling. I've gone through a major depressive episode, and I don't know why. I think it might have something to do with the lack of prospects, job opportunity-wise, and that takes its toll. I think my medication is not strong enough anymore. I'm going to be talking to my doctor tomorrow. I was supposed to talk to him today, but today turned into a write-off because when I woke up this morning, I felt like I hadn't slept at all. So I woke up and did the political show in the morning. I took Lola for a long walk, came back in, had some breakfast, and passed out for a few hours, like out cold. And when I awoke, I was confused. I didn't know what day it was, what time it was, where I was. It's like, oh, I'm at home. I'm on the couch. Okay. Do I have to do a show? Did I do a show? What day is it? I just pull out the phone and start looking at the time and the date. And it's like, okay, did I do a show? I don't know. Did I let somebody down? I don't have any negative emails or texts from anybody, so I'm probably okay. And about 15 minutes later, I came to the realization of where I was, the time, and how I was doing. So it was a 2 hours of very deep sleep. And of course, it takes about an hour and a half to come out of that grogginess state. At least it does for me. Which threw my entire day into a tailspin. I had plans to do a number of things today, and none of them got done. I have plans to do a number of things tomorrow, and I'm hoping to get some of them done. One of the things I have planned tomorrow is to venture out onto the canal to get some more exercise, go for a nice long skate. Got to get my skates sharpened tomorrow because they are very dull. They're not in great shape. Anyway, so Saturday, throughout the day, I was a little melancholy. I wasn't, the week before I was depressed, like seriously depressed, like just reaching the point of the thoughts that invade your space, the thoughts that invade your mind of what's the point of all of this? Why bother? Why continue? Why? And I always find reasons why. Well, because you have people that love you. Even though you can't actually feel it, you do know it. You have this beautiful 85-pound dog that is dependent upon you. So you find reasons to lift yourself up, if you will. I wasn't having thoughts of self-harm or anything like that. And I do want to let you know that because there are times when those thoughts do invade my head, my brain, my space, my psychosis. I don't know. I didn't have that. That wasn't the case, but it was just a severely depressive episode where it's you just nothing seems to have a point, and every task is Herculean. And I've been going through that for a couple of weeks now, and I'm trying to fight against it, but there is only so much one can do. Yesterday, I got out on the canal, did 4K. I was hoping to do more, but that's all I could do. And I realized it's the first strenuous exercise I've had since the beginning of December when I went skiing in Lake Louise. I thought to myself, well, that's not good. You need more strenuous exercise. As you get older, you need to exercise more. And as I was walking to the canal, I was about halfway there, and all I wanted to do was just stop, turn around, go home, and lie down. I was that tired. However, I knew that wouldn't help, number one, because the moment I lie down, my brain would start racing, and I wouldn't be able to sleep. So then I would just get restless and upset and probably irritable. So I just continued. I made my way to the canal, put my skates on, skated for a little bit, and got over to the next rest stop, sat down, tightened up the right skate because it wasn't quite tight enough. Then proceeded to do 4K. I had to stop for about 5 minutes on the way back because I found I was winded and needed to. Again, like I said, I've had no strenuous exercise since the beginning of December. And we all know how insane the Christmas season can be. So yeah, I stopped for about 5 minutes. I did shoot a little bit of video for my upcoming production company channel that I'm going to be shooting a bunch of video, and over time, I figured May or June, I want to launch the channel and have a lot of content to start off with. I don't want to start off when doing live shows because that's not going to be, I mean, I might do a live show here and there, but that channel is going to be mostly about a pre-recorded video. It's about things that I'm passionate about: travel, food, drink, art, places that I love to go and visit, things that I love to do. I guess you could say it's sort of a tourist channel. Think of it this way. I think the best way to describe it would be, what I'm striving for would be somewhat in the same vein as Anthony Bourdain. Yes, I said that intentionally because I knew it would rhyme. So that'll be launching in either late May or early June. I'm going to be shooting footage for it between now and then. And I hope that you folks will take part in it if you like. This channel will continue, and I hope to grow this, because my goal with this is to help as many people as I possibly can. Excuse me. Because I know what it's like to suffer. I know what it's like to suffer in silence. I know exactly what it's like to suffer and not know what is going on with you. Like, why do I have these invasive thoughts that tell me terrible things about myself? Why do I have moments where I can't sleep for days because my mind won't stop racing? Why am I so tired all the time but can't sleep? That's the double-edged sword of depression and anxiety. And here's the thing. Yes, it's all in your head. However, it manifests itself physically because it is a serious medical issue. Your body shuts down because your brain chemistry is not correct. I'm not a doctor, so please don't think I'm doling out medical advice here. I'm not. I'm just telling you my experience and the knowledge that I have about this. Your body is seriously not functioning at capacity when you're running through a depressive episode, or if you're feeling anxious. You're just not who you're supposed to be, or who you're meant to be, or who you can be. Your potential will never be met because your brain's not allowing it. And that's a tragedy. That's the tragic part of the disorder that is depression and anxiety. It robs you of joy. It robs you of the things that you should be happiest about. You should be able to just sit back and enjoy life. Isn't that simple? Now, there is something I did learn a few years ago. One second. A number of years ago, I read something from somebody and I thought, it's kind of profound. And I had a conversation with my mother. And she said, well, yes. I'm like, well, I didn't know that. I read something that somebody had said that happiness is a decision you have to make. And I didn't fully grasp that the first time I read it. So I read it again, and I went and I thought about it. And I went, wait a minute, you mean I have to work at being happy? Because I thought, and this is before I even knew I had depression. Before I knew it. And I would think to myself, how is it that people just walk around being happy? I don't get it. I don't understand. How's that person right there happy? Because I was really not happy with myself or life or anything. I was hating myself pretty heavy at the time. And I didn't know why. Like, why do I hate myself? Why do I think I'm this miserable piece of garbage? Why do I think I'm taking up space? Why do I think I don't deserve to be happy and I don't deserve to be joyful and I don't deserve to have love? And there's Lola. And I would think, why don't I deserve any of those things? Sorry, let me back that. I said, I felt I didn't deserve any of those things. I thought, why can't I have them? And then I'd look around and see people who just seem to be happy. And I'm like, how come they get to be happy and I don't? And this was many years before I recognized or realized or was diagnosed, for that matter, that I had a disorder. I simply didn't know. And knowing is the first step towards changing things to make them better. I'd say for the most part, I'm a pretty happy-go-lucky guy. And I do my best to be happy because I know you have to work at it. It's just not given to you. You have to put effort into being happy. It is a decision you have to make. You have to decide to be happy. However, there are times when your brain chemistry doesn't work the way it should. For me, that was the better part of my life. And right now I'm going through something similar. But that doesn't mean I'm sad all the time, because I put effort into being happy and being grateful. And those things help. But they're not enough for me. I need medication. And I've been on the same medication for a few years. And I got a notification from my pharmacy the other day that it needs to be renewed. And I said, okay, renew it. And it said it couldn't renew it. Then I had a call from my doctor's office, and I thought, well, that's fortuitous timing because I'm going through a tough period. So I'll call him tomorrow. We'll have a phone appointment. And if need be, I'll go in to see him. I am going to inquire about psilocybin and microdosing, if that could possibly reboot or restart my brain. And it's not something I'm going to just go and do. It's something that I will only do under the advice and care of my physician. Because I don't take chances when it comes to things like that. I have so many allergies. The idea that I could, try this treatment and it kills me, that really doesn't appeal to me. And I don't think that's being hyperbolic or outlandish. Just, you don't want to die from a treatment. So yeah, that's kind of where I am right now. I have work to do on me, work to do to get myself back on track. I know that it won't be handed over to me. I know it will take effort. I know that I have to make the steps to make the changes as I try and pursue a new career, which isn't easy when the only reason I get out of bed some days is because I have to take care of Lola. The days when you just don't want to get out of bed. I had a whole bunch of things planned today to do and take care of. I had some editing, production work. I wanted to start uploading videos that I've shot, and I couldn't do it. And when I do release the footage I've shot on the AB, I'll say the AB channel is in Anthony Bourdain because that's the style of the show for the most part, similar but different. When I do release the footage on that, I will make note of, in this particular episode I was going through severe depression. And I tried my best to look normal. Because I want to be transparent about this. I want people to know that, yeah, you can still do stuff when you're suffering. But it's extremely difficult. So hopefully tomorrow my conversation with my doctor will be productive. Hopefully I'll be able to figure out what I can do to make my life better. How I can improve my lot in life. How I can take the time that I need to do some research with my doctor. Figure out if I can reboot the brain. Because even though it's only been a couple of weeks, it feels like a lifetime. All that being said, there was a time when I might have a week where I felt good. And all the time I felt terrible. And now that I've had a few years, almost 5 years of feeling good, when you have that depressive episode, which could only be a week or two, maybe 3, it feels like a lifetime. My life used to be the other way around. I felt like that all the time. So much so that I'm going to tell you something that some people may get upset when they hear this, but we didn't know, and they didn't know, and I'm not angry about anybody for any of this. And the stigma was very much there at the time. But I remember many years ago I was at a party with some friends, and somebody, hey, Paul, how you doing? I said, I'm just so tired. And another friend said, dude, every time I see you, that's all you ever say. Like, can you get some rest? Like, what the hell? Like, why are you always so bloody tired? And I said, I don't know. This is pre-diagnosis. Post-diagnosis, I'm like, oh, that's why. And then when somebody said, how you doing? I said, I'm tired. They said, well, get some rest. I said, no, it's because I have severe depression. And then they looked at me like I was, I don't know, had 3 heads. And I realized talking about it in the late 90s was not something anyone wanted to hear. And I did get responses from people of, oh, you're depressed? Well, just be happy. You've got a good life. I'm like, that's not quite how it works. You see, the thing is this. The brain chemistry, serotonin, you got the transmitters that send it out, and you got the receivers that receive it. But if the transmitters send it out and the receivers don't receive it, it goes back to the transmitter. So they came up with a medication called reuptake inhibitors. Actually, it's called SSRIs, supplemental serotonin reuptake inhibitors. And it's designed so that the transmitter, the neurotransmitter, when it sends the serotonin out, if the receiver doesn't receive it, the reuptake inhibitor blocks the transmitter from getting it back. So it eventually has to find its way to the receiver. This is very layman's terms, but it's brain chemistry. And I remember a friend of mine looked at me like, what? And I said, well, tell you what, you're a smart guy. Go look it up. A couple weeks later, he called me up, said, how you doing? I said, terrible. He came and picked me up, and we went back to his place and sat there and talked. And he told me about an episode that he went through. And oddly enough, it helped me. It helped me because I knew I wasn't alone. And that's the thing about depression. You feel alone all the time. I know I'm not alone. I know I have this group. I know I have my dog. I know I have my wife. I know I have my family. Knowing it is different than feeling it. And when you're going through a deeply depressive episode, you don't feel anything but pain. You feel nothing but pain. Somebody once described it like being in a spacesuit. No, I don't know anybody who's been in a spacesuit, so I describe it as being at a pool party and you're sitting underwater with a mask and snorkel. So the snorkel's poked out a few centimeters above the water so you can breathe and you can see clearly because you have a mask on. But the water's not that warm. You're a little cold. So you're kind of numb. And you see all these people around you and they're talking, playing, and they're having fun. You see it, but you don't feel any of it. And you can't hear anything they're saying. You're underwater. And that's my description of depression. You're underwater. And you can't get out of the water. You're not going to drown, and you can see what's going on. But you're underwater, and you're cold and numb. Can't really hear anything. You can see everything, but you can't participate. And you feel nothing but emptiness and numbness. And that's terrible. That is hell. It's really no way to live, which is why so many people choose to not live anymore. Because they don't know that there's help available. They don't know that it can get better. They feel like it's going to be like that forever when, one second. It's not like that forever. It is temporary. But the thing is, sorry, I'm just a little froggy right now. One sec. Sorry about that. I got a bit of a frog in my throat at the moment. The thing about it is, when you're going through something like that, you feel like you're going to be underwater forever. And many people just can't take that pain anymore, which is why they leave. I'm capable of a lot. Clearly, a lot of pain. Nobody likes pain. I certainly don't like pain, especially that kind of pain. And I will be okay. I know I'll be okay because I have to be. I want to be. And I have people who love me, so I need to be okay for them too. So that they know I'm all right. But if I say I'm okay right now, that would be a lie, and I'm not okay. I'm not. I will be. In time. But right now I'm deep underwater, and it's getting cold. And there's nothing anybody can say or do to make it better. And I think it's important that people understand that. Just be there for us. That's all. You can't do anything to fix it. Nothing you can say will make it better. Nothing you can do will make it better. Hell, I could win $100 million tomorrow and it's not going to fix anything. I mean, that might take some anxiety away, but it's not going to fix the depression. See, I can still make jokes. The thing about depression, it doesn't mean you're sad all the time. It just means your body's not cooperating with the way it's supposed to work. So, what to take away from all of this? Know that you're not alone. Know that I am here for you, believe it or not. Know that when I do this, this helps me too. Because talking about it is better than keeping it inside. It's so much easier to just open up. You feel like you're lifting a weight off your shoulders. And I'm not telling you that you have to do that. I'm not even suggesting that you do. Only you can choose your path. And only you know what's right for you. This is what's right for me. And I've been told that it can be helpful for others to let them know that they're not alone. To let them know that we all suffer. And if we can do it out in the open instead of in silence, it makes it a little bit easier. And we can help each other at the same time. Now, I do know that a lot of folks are a little stressed out over the current political situation. And I can understand why. You know I do not discuss politics on this show, and I never will. This show is about people who are feeling pain and need a place to come to for a little bit of respite. I know that the current political situation is upsetting to a great number of people. It's upsetting to me. I want you to know that you always have a place here. If you are suffering, if you are feeling lost or empty or alone, you have a place here. Belief, culture, politics, check that at the door when you step into this space. We're just here to try and support one another. And that's all. That's the only thing that matters, is supporting one another. There's not a person on this, there is not a single person on this earth that has not been touched by mental health issues in one way or another. It's either directly or indirectly. Family member, a friend, a colleague, a lover. Somebody has gone through something if you've never done it yourself. And if you've never gone through a mental health issue, I feel two ways about it. One, I'm very happy for you. And two, I would like it so that you could have one 24-hour cycle. Just one. Once a year. One 24-hour cycle. And you know it's like, oh yeah, it's this day on the calendar. Oh, guys, I got a thing. Tomorrow I have to experience depression and anxiety for 24 hours so I know how other people feel. Or maybe bipolar or schizophrenia or any number of mental health issues. Go through it for 24 hours so that you could have more compassion for others. Kind of like when we see the posturing that often takes place when people do the 24 hours of homelessness. It's done for a reason, so that you can experience what people have to live through every day. And you know that when it's over, that 24 hours, you get to go home to your home. You get to go home to begin with, but your warm bed, your clean, warm bed, where you have a refrigerator stocked with food. You have a washroom with a shower and a toilet. You can bathe whenever you want. 24 hours of depression and anxiety or bipolar disorder or schizophrenia for just 24 hours. If it only were so simple that we could make everybody feel that so that they would know what millions of people go through every day. There's no way to do it, but wouldn't it be great if we could make that happen? Okay. I'm going to yes, Mikhail. I know it's a delicate situation for people listening. I'm just addressing somebody in the chat. I hear you. I know it's inherently political, and I don't want politics on this program. I do know how that the current political situation is affecting people's mental health. And I wanted to address that, but I don't want to get political. Not on this program, because this is about mental health. I have a political show that if you want to take part in that, you're more than welcome to join in. But this is not about that, even though I'm addressing a reason, a root cause, a causality, if you will. I don't want to dive into that. Because here is not about alienating. It's not about dividing. It's about those of us who are suffering, who need a place. And your place is here if you are willing to check all of that other stuff at the door. I kind of have to stick to that because if you've ever seen my political show, you'll understand why. Okay. I think I should wrap up and go and cuddle with Lola, who I really wish she'd come back in here to be on camera because I'd love for you to see her. For not everybody has seen her before. 1 second, I'll see if I can get her. Lola. 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 No, she's, hang on, let me just check. I've got cameras throughout my apartment so I can monitor her. Let me see where she is, just so I know. I think she's in my bed. Yeah, she is lying in my bed right now. No, oh no, maybe she's on her way here. Oh, I know what she's doing. She's lying on the floor in front of the TV because the parquet floors are a little bit cooler. She runs hot, which is why when I take her out, even when it's -10, I just put a toque on her. She doesn't need a coat because she's warm. Anyway, I will bid you adieu for this evening. And before this week is out, I'm going to put some other content up for you. As I'm feeling something, I'm going to just go and record and then post. But I felt it important to do a live show because I know that there's people who count on it, and I apologize. There's times when I simply cannot, and I know you understand. I know you understand what it's like when you don't have the emotional or physical energy to do anything. And I have those moments too. I'm thankful tonight I was able to find the strength to do this. I had committed to it earlier today, and I wasn't going to not do it. And I have to fully admit that I do feel a little bit better after having, some time here to sit and talk about it. So, yeah. Thank you. Thank you for coming out. Remember to hit that old subscribe button before you leave. And I will promise you this. I will see you soon. Take care. Thanks for stopping by.